Okay, hi, good morning everyone. So today I will be covering the first demo on RPA UiPath. That is the introduction part, and we can say it like an overview or like introduction part. Okay, so the main points which we are going to cover today are, so what is RPA? I mean, RPA means robotic process automation. So why actually we need RPA, and what are all the benefits of RPA? Okay. So what are the market leading tools available in the RPA? So among the all available RPA tools, why UiPath is like most preferable and why it is most successful? And what are the current opportunities in RPA and the salary part and the various roles in RPA technology? The most importantly, like who can learn the RPA? So, and what are the prerequisites for this RPA technology? Okay. Am I audible? So, to all?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So, what is RPA? So RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. So let us understand each letter or each word in this RPA. Okay, robotic means, so it means the mimicking the human actions. Okay, and process means a sequence of steps or operations to complete a meaningful task or meaningful activity. So automation means eliminating the human intervention. Okay, in combined, if you want to, if you are putting in a single statement, it is like the definition would be like, the classic definition would be like the mimicking the human behavior to execute a sequence of steps or operations which is leading to a meaningful activity or productive activity or like a task, so without any human intervention. Okay, this is what the definition of RPA. So why RPA is needed actually? So why nowadays everybody is speaking about RPA, and what are the, I mean, automation, and what are the benefits, main benefits actually? What are the main benefits of RPA, and why most of the global organizations are like now moving towards implementing RPA to optimize their process? Okay, so basically like it will so if you wanted to say in simple way, so it will save a lot of cost and it improves the efficiency of the organization with more accurate results. Okay, so with these things, like I mean, we can provide, I mean, companies or like organizations can provide better customer service to their customers, and employees also we can utilize in more productive way. It means the repetitive tasks will be like done or taken care by the RPA bots. Okay, and employees human resources nowadays, it is very scarce, I mean very limited resources with multi skills. So we can train the human resources in other technologies, like upcoming technologies, where human thinking is required, human decisioning is required. Okay, the repetitive task, the human decisioning is not required. So such kind of tasks we can actually get it done by RPA bots, and we can utilize the human resource in a better way. Okay, and we can, since the RPA bot, I mean bots can actually work 24/7. It can run 24/7. So we can complete the repetitive tasks in more rapid way. It means we can get the things in faster way and with better accuracy, more efficiency, and with good amount of, I mean, cost savings. Okay, So by achieving all the above, the most organizations can be in compliance with the regulations, local government regulations and standards, and it will be at par with the global standards. They have to like complete few things because of the human scarcity, resources scarcity. So some of the organizations may not be able to complete the regulatory related tasks on time. So those kind of tasks can be like achieved with this RPA. So what are the main key factors of RPA? So it requires minimal coding skills. Okay, since most of the RPA technologies are using pre-compiled code. They are already like activity in the form of activities or like operations. They are all actually like like modules. They are actually already available in the RPA tools. So the developer can like drag and drop those activities. So according to the process or design, and they can build the bots within within a quick time. They can build the bots and they can achieve the they can complete that development. Okay, so minimal team size. Okay, it means suppose if you want to achieve a automation, automation of a task without RPA tools. If you wanted to write the code in terms of the traditional languages like C#, VB.NET or Java, it requires a lot of effort, lot of coding actually has to be done to achieve the same kind of task. And we need to like spend more time, and it will take a lot of effort, and more human resources are required. Okay, with RPA tools, so this we can actually reduce the team size, and we can achieve this all this automation tasks within less time. And obviously like implementing the RPA and using the RPA tools, it will be more profitable. So instead of like spending more amount on human resources and time, right? So we can actually use these RPA tools. We can actually build the robots within quick time. So it will be like overall, if we consider comparing with the other process without using RPA and with using RPA, it will be more profitable. If you see the RPA market growth, okay, so considering all the business done by RPA software companies, so it is from past. If you see the data from past 5 years and next 10 years projection for the next year 10 years projection, it is constantly increasing and exponentially like projections are like exponentially increasing. If you see on the right hand side, so why it is like that? Okay, because last few years most of the companies globally, they are moving towards digital transformation. So they wanted to optimize their process to reduce the costs. So they are actually finding the ways to automate the repetitive tasks so that they can increase their revenues. Okay, and they can improve their efficiency, and like so they will be like progressing in a better manner using these RPA tools. Any questions so far? Okay.
No.
So what are the current market leading tools available in the RPA? There are more number of tools, but I am just here depicting. I'm mentioning only the top trending tools available. So which are actually ruling the current RPA market. So UiPath is on top of all the available market. On the It is on top of all the available RPA tools. It is actually like found in 2005. I mean, its company is established in 2005, and the rest actually like Microsoft Power Automate. So it is owned by Microsoft. So it is this Microsoft Power Automation also doing well recent days. Okay, but UiPath is on top of all the other competitors. So if you see the remaining automation anywhere, Blue Prism, Pega Robotics. Pega Robotics, earlier it is called as a OpenSpan Technologies, and it is built on top of .NET framework. I mean .NET Techno. I mean Visual Studio, and since Pega has acquired that company, so it is renamed as Pega Robotics. WorkFusion and Cofax. Okay, so these are all the market. I mean, the list is still more, but these are all more popular tools available in the current RPA market. So why RPA? Why, I mean, in RPA, why UiPath? I mean, most popular. Why it is more popular among all the market leading players? Okay, so currently, if you see the latest market share, it is having the almost, it is capturing almost 1/4 of the market in the RPA segment. So why it is more popular is like we need. I mean, it is that UiPath environment is user friendly, so it is easy to learn this tech. I mean, this UiPath when compared with other RPA tools, it is very easy to learn, because if you see the development environment of this UiPath, it looks like very simple and all drag and drop features. Actually, within quick time, we can learn and we can implement the bots actually. And coding skills, very. I mean, we don't require any coding skills as a prerequisites. Okay, so anybody anybody can, like, with some basic technical skills, can learn this technology within very less time actually. And there are the other features of RPA. I mean UiPath is, so there are built-in objects which are called as out-of-box features. Okay, because already pre-built activities are there. We can just use that activity like drag and drop onto the main programming canvas. Okay, and the most importantly, this UiPath, they have community edition is available. Okay, not like other companies. Okay, suppose if you want to learn any technology, right, we need to have that software. It should be available to the learners who want to learn that technology. If you see the other competitors for UiPath, like Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, some other technologies, so they don't have the community edition available freely. Okay, there is only limited period. For a limited period, trial versions are available. So that trial version also having with limited features. Okay, but this community edition of UiPath is having all the full features, and it is free of cost for the lifetime. That is the most beautiful feature of UiPath. Okay, anybody can, if anybody want to learn, they can go and use this community edition and learn that technology and like get into that technology. The modular development in the sense like suppose if you wanted to automate a big process, okay, like we wanted to, like, in a organization like or like in a bank, if you consider in a bank, loan generation or like a new customer onboarding is a whole task. Okay, so that big task can be like divided into subtasks. Okay, and each task can be developed separately. Each task means here each module actually. Suppose if we have a team size of some multiple team members, like 5 to 10 members, the whole task, the big task, can be split into multiple modules or multiple tasks, and each task can be assigned to each team member in the team. So it can be, I mean, development can be done parallelly. Okay, so we will be like saving a lot of time with this. Okay, and once the modules are completed, like we can actually like plug it to each other as as in the sequence, and so we can actually complete that process or complete that bot. Okay. Extensibility. Extensibility means UiPath is having some features, out-of-box features provided actually as part of the UiPath Studio or UiPath product. Okay. If we wanted to extend on top of the available features, so there is a provision to extend those features also. Like we can write customized code to extend those features, or like customized libraries we can develop, and we can integrate those libraries or like components with UiPath robots. This way, like we are extending the features which are available, because all the features, when some custom features, when we cannot provide along with UiPath Studio or UiPath product. So it is allowing the developers to extend the features, and it is very well can integrate with external source resources like external database. Suppose if you wanted to like pull some data from an external database and process on top of that, and then this is very well like we can use the integration features are available. Okay, like if you wanted to access a data using a web service, so it is very well like suitable actually, that is allowed in UiPath. Okay, for example, if you take an example of a payslip generation for all the employees in an organization, so data will be available in a database. Okay, and we can actually write a code, we can connect to the database and pull all the employee information in an Excel or like in a table, and process the salary part actually, I mean, based on the HRA basic and previous month deductions. So current month deductions can be calculated, and pay slips can be generated using the PDF generation and using the Excel PDF generation or PDF automation. And Excel automation, using Excel automation, we can actually process all these tax calculations. Suppose if there are some companies like they will be using external web services to calculate the current month taxes. So this UiPath is very well like connect to the external web services to connect, and based on the input provided, they can actually like calculate or like provide the tax calculation formulas or like tax calculation percentages. So that is one classic example I'm explaining. So how the UiPath is suitable for extensibility. Reusability. Reusability means like we have some common features, like a common task to be done actually in many of the automation tasks. Like sending an email is one of the common tasks, and PDF generation is one of the common tasks or common workflow in automation. Okay, like taking a previous example, payslip generation. In payslip generation, once we do all the calculation, that payslip should be generated in the form of a PDF. Okay, and it has to be sent. The PDF, I mean the email, the payslip should be sent to each individual employee through email. Okay, so here we are doing both two different tasks, like sending email is a one task and PDF generation based on the tax calculation is one task. Okay, so here the task is common, but the data is different actually. Here in the sending email, the addresses and the content will be different, but sending email task is common. Okay, where here these, if we provide some variables to the send email workflow, I mean whole email automation can be done with a one common function. Okay, that email functionality or common functionality can be used across wherever we want in the our automation task. Similarly, PDF generation also, like here I took an example of payslip generation. Whereas if you see another example like monthly statement generation also required PDF task. Okay. So there we need to provide the data, but PDF generation will be a common task. So that kind of all similar to this kind of common task, we can develop as a common workflows, and those can be used across all the tasks wherever it is required in our bot development. Okay, this is how actually like UiPath supports the reusability concept, because this is most important. If you take the traditional programming languages like .NET, Java, okay, right? So there also like all the common functionalities they put in a common libraries, and those common libraries will be used, will be referred in the projects, specific projects, and common features will be used. Common functionalities will be used across the project wherever it is required. Okay, this point is important actually to understand. Okay, this is, I mean, this supports reusability. So we will understand more about this reusability in future sessions. Okay, and just-in-time compilation. Okay, what it means while development, I mean, in the UiPath Studio, while we develop the bots, we are actually placing activities on the canvas, or like we are writing the code. I mean, we are placing the activities means we are writing the code, bot development code. So when we are doing some drag and drop actions, if we are making any syntax errors, the studio will immediately shows that error on the screen with red color text. So developer can easily understand and take the appropriate action to fix that syntactical errors. Or suppose if we want to, suppose we are assigning a variable of integer type to a string type, which is not compatible actually. So immediately that error will be shown on the screen, UiPath screen. So which is not, I mean, which is not available in most of the other tools or traditional languages. And the deployment process is very simple. So in the UiPath Studio, we have a deployment feature is available on the studio itself. With a one-click button, it will be easily, the bot can be like, I mean, the developed bot can be easily deployed onto the development environment, or like whichever the configured environment on the Orchestrator. So this we will understand in the future sessions. And it provides, I mean, so currently majority of the companies, like global companies, I mean global leaders, like I mentioned in the screen, SAP, SAP, JPMC, I mean JP Morgan Chase, HSBC, Wells Fargo, State Street, Bank of America, and other like service providers like Accenture, Deloitte, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, so and HCL, Capgemini. These are all these companies are actually customers of this UiPath. Okay, so they provide very good support for their customers. Actually, if there is any technical, if there is any product support is there, actually like the product support team is very well and very knowledgeable, and with and the documentation is also very good actually for this UiPath. So that is the reason this UiPath is like on top of all other their competitors. Okay, if you see here, and I mean Google surveys, I mean we can see that UiPath is on top of all other their competitors. See, UiPath is on top. The second one comes the Power Automate. The rest of the one comes actually the next. And other features, other main feature of UiPath is like it provides 3 different products, which is having its own significance. Okay, like UiPath Studio UiPath Robots, UiPath Orchestrator. Okay, each product actually, if you buy a product, they will provide these three products. These three products means UiPath Studio is useful. I mean, is used for development of bots, and UiPath Robot. UiPath Robot, it's not robots, it is robot. There is a typo on that. UiPath Robot is used for execution of the developed bot on the local system. So immediately we can actually run that bot on local system, or like we can run the completed bots on the local system and see that the results immediately on the development box. I mean, just suppose if we are developing a huge task, right? We will be like incrementally we will be developing. Like suppose in our task there are some 10 subtasks are there. Suppose we complete first task, okay? We can run that on the UiPath robot. So we can see the results. So that first task, subtask is completed. So we can actually move on to the second task. And like that, we can generate, we can complete and test the locally developed bot incrementally by using this UiPath robot, or it is called as a robot manager, or UiPath Assistant also. It is called earlier in the previous versions. It is called UiPath Assistant. Now it is called as a UiPath Robot. UiPath Orchestrator. It is a web application. So it is in a separate system. It is used for configuring the bot and processes, assets. So those configuration will be done, because from in the production environment, bots will be running from this orchestrator system. Okay, so we will understand this in detail in the future sessions. So any questions so far? I'll take a pause for a minute. You all there with me?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
You told like there is no coding or very less coding is required. If the less coding is required, what will be the preferred areas of coding that skill set needs to be added for the developer? Is it like something like C# coding is required, or is the JavaScript is required, or is there anything additional that is required along with this? And what will be the expertise level that is expected in those areas of coding?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, that part also I will be covering in the next session. Okay, it is a prerequisite. What are the prerequisites for this learning this UiPath? Okay, so since all these RPA tools, majority of the RPA tools are built on top of .NET framework. Okay, .NET framework is like either VB.NET or C#.NET is required, but that is not in-depth knowledge is not required actually. Just we are doing some assigning statements actually. So I will be covering some few topics on C# in the as part of the prerequisites in the very beginning actually, before getting into the UiPath, actual UiPath developments. Okay, so we will try to understand. I will give some basic concepts in the C#.NET. So majority of the other trainers will in other trainings this will not be covered, but that understanding is required actually, like how the traditional programming and how this bot development. This is called as a low code or no code development model. Okay, since we are using drag and drop features, and with very one or two lines of statements we will be using in that controls editors. Okay, so that we will understand. Okay, that is very easy only. That's not a very tough thing. Okay, so by looking at the statements itself, we can easily understand that. Okay. Once we started learning, going forward, doing some practicals or like doing some projects, it is easy to understand. It's not big thing actually.
Okay.
So moving to next one. I mean, what are the current opportunities available in RPA market, and what are the roles and responsibilities of RPA opportunities, and what are the current salary trends? Okay, so these are the, I mean, in RPA, so we have, I mean, these are the majority of the roles. I mean, if you see in any organization or like any job descriptions, they may be looking for developer or architect. Can all consultant. Consultant role will be like it's kind of a business analyst role only. Business analyst role will be like understanding or identifying the opportunities in the current organization to transfer those opportunities into RPA projects. And the project manager will be like monitoring all these, I mean, end-to-end monitoring or like managing these RPA projects. And if we see the opportunities, so it is globally, I mean, in India it is catching up, but it is also rapidly developing in India. But if you see globally, like US, UK, Canada, and Australia markets, it is already like many organizations are already like using RPA technologies. Okay, they are already like in need of RPA skills resources. So, and this is RPA is also one of the top demanding skill in top 20 skills. It is all it's in top 20 skill. It is keep on growing. Okay, so there are good opportunities. Salaries also like a decent salaries are actually like it is compatible with any other technologies. And there are good, I mean, there are if you see it is currently there are less number of resources available, but the opportunities are more. You can actually find it out in any job portals. Okay, I have not mentioned that in the information here, so you can find it out in the website. Yeah, who can learn the RPA? So this is the most important point why we all are meeting here. So
Sorry, if you don't mind, can I stop you for one question?
yeah.
Yeah, if you can go to previous slide. Yeah, here the main focus will be on RPA developer skill set. So, is there anything additional or any information or any knowledge will be shared if the focus is to understand how to be a RPA consultant or a project manager or a business analyst in the course?
Yeah, during the course, okay, I will be like providing some use cases. Okay. So by analyzing that use cases, we can develop our solution development skills. Okay.
Okay.
So that is what designing skills also. That is, we can say it's a designing skills. Suppose we have a problem statement. Okay. There are multiple ways to resolve that problem.
Okay.
There are multiple solutions. So as a solution architect or like solution designer or solution developer, we should be having multiple solutions for that problem statement, and we need to see the best solution for the problem. Best solution in the sense like we're using the less resources and with low cost and better scalability and better maintainability.
Yeah.
So these are all the these are all the designing skills. So the architect role will be like most of the architects roles will be like they will be seeing the problem from end to end.
Yeah.
So, and also, they will be thinking out of box, and they will be like thinking like how this system will be like interact with external system. Suppose if we develop today a bot, how this bot can be like sustained after some few years, or how this can be like scalable to next level, how this bot can be like integrated with other heterogeneous systems. So these kind of factors will be considered while designing the bot.
Yeah.
Okay. And whenever there is any production issues comes, like the instrumentation part, instrumentation in the sense logging and tracing. So we should be having a good logging and tracing, and tracing system should be available so that the production issues will be addressed within very less time. Okay, these are all the factors should be considered for designing a solution.
Yeah.
Okay, as part of, with our course design is like as part of the development, we will also like learn those skills also. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So now coming to the actual the most important point, like who can learn this RPA is like it is RPA technologies are very easy to learn, because since most of the features are drag and drop with minimal coding. Okay, so in the beginning tasks we may not be required that much in-depth level of coding is also not required. Okay, since this is a low code or no code model, so programming skills is very minimal required. That is also I will be covering in the prerequisites program. So most of the RPA tools are built on top of the .NET framework. Okay, like UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, Pega Robotics. These are all built on top of .NET framework. Okay, so if we have some minimal knowledge in .NET, that is well and good. That if it is not there, it's also fine. Like we will be learning those things in the beginning, 4 to 5 sessions as a prerequisite program, and there is a good feature available in most of the RPA tools, like recording feature, but in UiPath it is more effective. So with recording feature, we can actually develop without any coding. Okay, recording in a sense like we suppose if we want to automate any process, like a user just sit in front of the system, open the UiPath Studio, enable the recording feature, and start performing your task. The business task. Okay, like go to a website, like suppose if I wanted to take a task resolving one incident. Suppose a L3 team, production support team is resolving one incident, that is a business scenario. That resource will open the incident management system. It will search for the incident details by providing the incident number on the screen, and we will be performing these operations by enabling beforehand we will enable the recording feature, and we will start performing this business task, like entering the incident, search for the incident details, and once we will modify the incident details, like whether it has to be moved to the next level, or whether it has to be resolved, or whether it has to be like keep on hold. Those details we will be providing in various controls, and we will be saving that or we will be resolving the incident. Once that final task is completed, we can stop the recording feature. So it will capture all the activities in the background, and it will within less time we can actually develop that bot. Okay, so that is a very good feature available in most of the RPA tools, especially UiPath. It is very effective, and you see very basic skills like a user is required. Like suppose somebody is working in a testing background, in the testing technologies, and someone is like in production support, someone is in like a BPM operator, okay, like a BPO operator. So with basic minimal technical skills, how to use how to use a web applications or desktop applications, that kind of minimal knowledge is required, and minimal math skills are required actually. But any programming or any technologies, minimal basic mathematics skills are required actually. Just like some knowledge at par with 10th class mathematics is enough. Actually, that's enough. That is also an high level it is required, but not in depth. Okay, so the ability to understand. Suppose if you are trained in a new product, right, like how to use that product, that kind of knowledge is required, that kind of grasp of knowledge is required. Suppose a BPO operator is trained on a customer based application, initially like that employee will be like trained on BPO application, right, or like a L3 support or production support person will be like trained on a incident management system. So that ability to understand the system is required. Okay, so and how that each task, suppose if you are performing one task, right, how that task can be split into multiple tasks. So we need to understand that part. I mean, as part of the training, it will be understood. Okay, and there is very limited time is available to learn a new trending technology. Okay, so this is a new trending, and it's going to grow in future a lot. So if you have very less time, if you consider other programming languages, it is very it will take more time to learn the conventional programming languages like .NET, Java, and other technologies, Python. It will take some 3-4 months to learn, actually, to understand. That is also like if you work on those features, it will be in depth we can understand. But here we will be, as part of this training program, we will be covering most of the features, and within very less time. So this program is designed for 40 days session, and it will be completed in approximately 2 months time. So by end of this program, I'm sure that you will be like at par with the 2 years experience guy in the market. So that's now the question and answer session. So I'm open for the question and answers. If you have any questions, I can address it.
Yeah, can you tell more about certifications, starting level, cost of certification, and is there any assistance from your training institute?
Yes, actually, this program is designed to cover all the training. I mean, all the basic. I mean, developer fund. I mean, there are 2 levels of certification in basically in UiPath. One is developer foundation. The other one is the advanced developers, and other one, the final one, is solution architect. Okay, so in our program, we will be covering the topics which are actually I mean, in the certification of advanced developers.
Okay.
So we will be discussing the questions and interview questions and certification questions asked. Coming to the, there are dumps available, but the UiPath certification, there is no mandatory to have a certification to get into the UiPath jobs. Okay, like in other.
Okay, got it.
But coming to the cost, right? I think it may be around $170 around. But earlier they are actually, last 2 years back, they are actually given this as a free of cost. But recently, not sure. Recently, it is like we need to pay for that.
Okay, in rupees, how much it is?
$170 around some 16 to 18K actually. Depends on the depends on the the Pearson Center. And suppose if they, I will try to get that information. Currently, I don't have that. I can find it out.
Yeah.
But certification is not mandatory. But if we wanted to see, if we wanted to do, if we wanted to get certified, there is one other way of doing it. Other way in the sense like it is also at par with certification. In Academy, UiPath Academy, there is a diploma courses are there. For
Okay.
developer course, for developer foundation, we need to complete certain modules, and we need to say at the end of every module there is a question and answers. We need to give that question. We need to answer those questions, and we need to pass every for every module we have to pass with 80 percentage. Okay, at the end of the complete complete course, there is another some session, another question and answer sessions will be there. I mean, module will be there. We need to pass with some 80 percentage. So we will be getting a certificate from UiPath Academy. That is a developer foundation diploma certificate. That is also good actually. So we will be getting it from the UiPath Academy. Okay, it is similar to the same certificate as UiPath certification. There are 3 levels again in that: developer foundation, advanced developers, and solution architect.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the prerequisites part, like how depth you will teach us?
So I will be covering up to the advanced developers. Advanced developers is also like part of solution architect level only. But in the solution architect, we will be considering design features. But in the advanced developers, we will be focusing mostly on the developing the bots only. I mean, development features only. So in this program, we will be covering of the features. I mean, covering of the topics which are in advanced developers.
Okay. And you also provide the, in the regular, recorded meetings once it's done.
This is this meeting. I mean, I'm not getting your point. So
I mean, like
I will be providing the. I will be providing the exercise documents. Okay. So
okay.
see, I will
No,
be explaining. I mean, how
what
the
I'm
each
asking was
session
if
will be like.
sometimes we miss the class or anything, are you going to provide the meeting like videos? Nowadays, like everyone is recording their sessions, right? Are you going to share those sessions?
I will be checking with office people actually, Harsha's office people.
Okay.
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 So,
Okay. And one more thing I
but
want to
actually
ask.
that may not be required. Suppose if you miss any class, right? So by any unavoidable circumstances, just you can leave a message. So I will like cover those topics. I mean, one-on-one.
Okay. Okay. My only question is there a possibility of any other timings? Because we live out of India and it's like very late for us. So,
So 8:30. I mean, this time is very late for you. You joined
yeah,
from?
I'm from USA, so it's 11 p.m. over here. I mean, it's like close to 12 now. So, which is,
Okay.
yeah, 11 to 12 will be like, too late. So if you can, at least
Yeah.
an hour ahead or
Yeah. Understood.
that yeah,
Understood. Yeah.
that would be better for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Once
so
this demo sessions completed tomorrow
uh-huh,
session,
uh-huh.
we will like finalize on we will finalize on the timings actually. So based
Okay,
on the,
sure.
so actually I am flexible to start. So couple of hours before also. Okay,
Yeah,
since it is
otherwise,
online,
in
like
case
everybody
if
can join.
yes, in case if you're okay to give the classes in at India night time in the after hours, like after your office hours, even that is also fine. Like whereas it will be like mornings for us in USA, so even that is also fine for us. Yeah, let's see. Like after the
Yeah,
sessions, yeah, we can discuss like how about the other uh, people are feeling comfortable.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for bringing this point. Like I will discuss with our people, and we'll get back to you on that. Okay, the timings. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. But for the demo sessions tomorrow also, like I will be covering on the same. I mean, I will be like taking the demo the second part on the same timing only. Like if you want to like
Okay.
ask your friends to join, so we can actually
Sure.
inform your
And
friends.
so in this program, so you're going to give us some projects as well.
Yes, yeah. There are 2-3 projects are designed actually.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from our regular tutorials or like demo projects or like whatever you call. So like 4 or 3 concepts will be together combined, and we will be like giving a project. Actually, we will be developing a project combining some
Okay.
2-3 features. Okay, one complete feature. So
Mm-hmm.
like in any organization, so it will be like a use case. Okay.
Okay. Okay. And if you don't mind, in tomorrow's class, can you give us like a more like live examples, like like where this particular tool is actually used, and mostly is it used in the service-based companies or in the product-based companies, like this particular tool?
So tomorrow session, most of the 50% of the sessions we are discussing about business cases, use
Okay.
cases, and
Okay.
examples only. And
Okay.
half of the session tomorrow will be discussing features of, the additions, UiPath architecture and components. Okay, 50%, more than 50% of the tomorrow session we will be covering business use cases and
Okay, yeah,
across
because
domains.
that
Wherein
gives us, more clarity on like, uh, though we doesn't need the development knowledge for now, we just want to know in live like what is the actual scenarios and where we use it. If that thing we have an idea, then it will be easy for us to learn the process. That was the reason I'm asking you, to explain more business cases.
Yeah, tomorrow we are covering actually more on on this part only, like business cases
Okay.
only, like
Okay.
examples or business cases
Mm-hmm.
use cases
Mm-hmm.
where this RPA is implemented across various
Okay.
industries in the sense like healthcare domain, financial
Okay.
domain,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Yeah, I
yeah,
just want
hospitals,
that. Yeah,
healthcare, yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
manufacturing industries,
yeah.
pharmaceuticals.
That's good. Yeah, I'm just looking for that.
Yeah, tomorrow we will be covering those
Okay,
majorly
okay, sure.
on that part only, like.
Okay. I think I'm,
Okay.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you can also inform to your friends like so. So this session, I think it is recorded, so it will be available. I guess like they may publish this demo session.
Okay.
Uh, so if no questions are there, then
Mm,
so thank you all. We will meet
yeah,
tomorrow
sure.
in tomorrow session. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.